Hi everybody and welcome to Get Indie Gaming and to our monthly showcase highlighting the top 10 indie games we're most looking forward to playing this May 2024. It's a huge month for new indie game releases, so let's get stuck right in.
King City. A prosperous and bustling metropolis.
Up first, and at this month's number 10, Capes is a superhero-themed turn-based strategy game where the good guys are actually seen as the opposite. Played across a campaign and numerous patrol missions, you can decide to push on through the story while using the side missions to unlock new heroes, skill points, all the while learning about what happened 20 years ago when the supervillains won and why having superpowers is considered a crime. You're also able to recruit other heroes, each with their own abilities, which I'd wager you'd be wanting to pick folks who better augment your own playstyle. Capes perhaps naturally is giving us XCOM vibes and comes out towards the end of the month for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch. Let's move on with Archaeogem, that's coming to Steam on May the 17th. How best to describe this? Well, it really reminds us of Celeste and others like it, with its precision-based platforming, all set within a lush landscape where you're playing as a world-renowned archaeologist with Indiana Jones-like whips on a search for lost relics, all the while to enhance your reputation as one of the best trophy hunters in the world. We've hugely enjoyed the demo of this particular platforming, which feels pixel perfect, as does the Coyote time, which, like all great games in the genre, feels delightfully implemented. Okay, so in places it might be rough around the edges, although all told it's hugely enjoyable, with an expected port onto the Switch at some point in the future. At number 8, we have Duck Detective, the secret Salami that's headed out on May the 23rd. We're told this is a cozy mystery game, featuring a down-on-his-luck duck searching for answers within a sinister sausage-based conspiracy. It's said to be a bite-sized experience of around 2 to 3 hours, where players will interview suspects where you'll know just by looking at them if they're telling porkies. We're hoping there's a few little nods towards the classic LA noir in here, well, because why not? All of this is fully voice acted, with it also being described as having returned to Obra Dinn type gameplay, which we're all in on. Duck Detective, the secret Salami, is headed to PC. Moving on, and at this month's number 7. Heading out put us all instantly in mind of Sin City, with its black and white colour palette with flashes of colour here and there. It's a racing game inspired by road movies from the 70s, and from a stylistic point of view, we're thinking this is one of the most striking games that are set to come out all of this year. We're also really interested to see how this actually plays. Sure, it's labelled as a driving game, although we're also seeing phrases such as roguelike, resource management, and moral choices being bandied about this one too. It's certainly a little bit of a mystery, with it having launched on May 7th onto PC. At number 6, we have Zet Zillions, which, as this video goes out, has a demo on its Steam homepage, and like all of the games in this rundown, you can find a link to this down in the video description. Zet Zillions is a story-driven roguelike deck builder where players navigate their way through a vast space to do battle and create chaos left in your wake. Now personally, we've all had a great time with the hour or so we've spent with the demo. We found it easy to pick up, and the card-based combinations seem intuitive and easy to get the heads around. As a small collective, we were talking earlier about having been played out by deck builders over the last few years, although with Zet Zillions, we're thinking we might have something to get us back into the genre. Zet Zillions is expected out on May 23rd onto PC.
The plague came quickly. The rot and fear bloomed. Pestilence claimed the land, the crops, the animals. Our thriving community withered.
At number 5, and something of a rarity here on Get Indie Gaming, we have Harvest Hunt, which is billed as a folk horror roguelike. We're not usually fans of horror games, and for jump scares, well, we've all had about enough of those to last a lifetime. However, there's something interesting going on here with Harvest Hunt that's making us want to play all the while hiding behind pillows as we fire it up on Steam. Okay, yes, it's another deck builder, and having just said we're kind of all played out of deck builders, but still, bear with me. Okay, so it looks great, and it is full of European folklore, and we're eager to see how it plays. Harvest Hunt is coming to PC on May the 22nd. Next up, and at number 4, Pine Hearts is something a little bit more sedate than the previous offering. It's coming out on May 23rd, and is a little story-driven adventure. It sees you play as Tyke, where you put on your hiking boots to explore the paths and rivers and greenery of what's supposedly a cozy little world. At its heart, Pine Hearts is a warm and thoughtful game about love, life, memory, and family, said to use the same item-based progression system as Zelda, with, yes, I'm reading this correctly, a Souls-like level design. Its main focus is on story-driven puzzling rather than combat. Pine Hearts looks delightful and will be coming to PC and the Nintendo Switch. At this month's number 3, Huntinii sees you play as the titular character on a hunt for answers. It uses line art with a two-tone colour palette. Now, here's a thing. The camera is also a character in itself, where it moves and flows over the environment, seemingly to emphasize certain parts of the world while providing direction to the player. The soundtrack is also said to be dynamic, meaning it ebbs and flows with the on-screen action. What's more, you might not think it, but this one's also a twin-stick action game, using classic shooting mechanics with a slower, contemplative pace, compared to what you might normally see within this genre. We're really excited by this one, with it coming to PC and all of the usual consoles on May the 23rd. At number 2, having launched on May the 9th, we have Animal Well. Long or perhaps not so long fans of the channel know we adore our pixel art, and by goodness, look at the pixel artwork on display here. It's totally utterly flabbergastingly wonderful. We could fill the rest of this little bit with other superlatives, although we're fairly sure you get our point here. As for the game, well, all told, it's a 2D platformer with puzzling sections, all within a non-linear survival-based environment. The developers are on record saying the main game is just the beginning, with players likely to find hidden sections for years to come. Animal Well is available on the Switch, PlayStation, and PC.
Grow stronger and complete your task. Death to Kronos.
Death to Kronos.
At this month's number 1, we have something that really doesn't need too much of an introduction, so we'll keep this super brief. Hades 2 is the follow-up, of course, to the original, and popped out on May the 6th in early access. Unsurprisingly, perhaps it's another god-featuring dungeon roguelike crawler, and yes, it's an absolute banger of a game, with the characters, writing, voice acting, and combat an utter delight. Sure, it's not perfect. The dash feels a little bit awkward, as does the sprint. At times I found the rooms a little too busy, and yet given Supergiant's track record of working things through in early access, as they did with the original, we're thinking the 1.0 release will once again raise the bar of what we can expect from developers outside of the AAA ecosystem. Even as it plays today, this is Game of the Year material. Well, there we go. Many thanks for watching. Do be sure to let us know which of these you're most looking forward to down in the comments, and we'll see you all here again soon for another indie game video.